name is Kim Poole, and we're here at the second International Conference on Art for Social Transformation, Artisan 2018. We're connecting art, culture to sustainable development. Clap because you understand that that's important. I would like to first thank and acknowledge our Honorable Minister of Tourism and Culture, Bach, for being here today. Imagine a place where scientists like astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson turn their research into beautiful star maps that fill the walls of hospital rooms and inspire healing. Or where the songs of Nina Simone and musicians are found inside of idea labs and inspire learning in children. Imagine children who believe that farmers work magic and that chefs save lives. Where community spaces are storytime places and playtime is required in every work day. The Artisan Conference could imagineer that for us. The second International Conference on Art for Social Transformation, it nurtures the sustainable development aspirations of emerging economies by connecting socially engaged artists like yourself to art culture, to every sector in society. We need every sector in society to think like artists, to imagine the art of possibility. We want doctors to be as creative as painters. We want historians to be as exciting as comedians. We need art in every sector of our development. We want that work in the Gambia. I'm glad that you're here today because you joined more than 500 leaders across the world in sustainable development who believe that art culture is more than just the aesthetic, who believe that the art of possibility and ideas is the next. Oh, the mic is gone? I was into it, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Yes. You are here because you've joined 500. Because you've joined 500 leaders, artists, sustainable developers around the world who believe that art is more than just a pretty picture, that art is more than just a song on a stage, that it's more than just that place where museums happen. You artists are the new social transformer. You are the new community engager. You are the civic engager that teaches communities how to think. You help us to define reality. Artists of Gambia, I want you to understand today that it is your time to take your seat at leadership tables, to be decision makers on behalf of your community, to understand what it truly means to inspire a community to take ownership of itself and create sustainable change on its symbolic landscape. As we explore innovative ideas and practical strategies for growth, financial support, and increasing impact, citizen participation in community development affairs is at an utmost importance in the new Gambia. In 2016, President Adama Barrow took office, and he decided that a new Gambia would emerge. Artists, cultural practitioners, cultural evangelists joined him in his plight to redevelop Gambia. Don't sit idly by and expect for him to develop the Gambia for you. Now is your time to join him at the decision-making table to bring the concerns of the community and then actively take your role in addressing them. I'm glad that you're here to participate in this meeting of the artistic minds, to help explore and define initiatives that will pillar Gambia's first master plan in art for social transformation entitled 2020 Imagineer Gambia. Join our choir of Imagineers. I thank you again. My name is Kim Poole. I'm the Chief Visionary of the Artisan Conference, and I look forward to working with you in breakout sessions throughout the day. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you one of your own, a homegrown, home-raised Gambian who has worked in the film industry in the Gambia and around the world, showing you that art is more than just a film, but it is a tool for teaching the masses about your cultural narrative, promoting and preserving your cultural heritage and identity, an advocacy tool for speaking to the concerns that define your very life. Without further ado, please clap as we introduce Prince Aminata Babakar.
Thank you very much, Kim, and thank you very much to the family. I need no introduction. It's an honor to be here today. After a long flight, I made it, finally. I can't afford to miss this important historic event. As you say, art is for social transformation. I don't like too much talking. It's time for action. And it's good that the Honorable Minister is there. I'm appealing to your ministerial discretion to push this agenda of art district forward. You know, as you say, we are the agents of change. One good example is everybody is talking about our resources, our natural resources, and their impact on corruption and civil unrest. His Excellency the President raised it during his meeting in Mauritania. But some of us can bear witness that during the difficult years of dictatorship, when our resources were being shipped outside, some of us in the arts industry spoke against it, and the information was replicated through the international media, where our land, our resources, our cash were given to foreign stars, while Gambian artists are left to live in penury. So, and it is interesting that the new government has actually pick up on that and is developing that one. Yeah, so basically that is it. The arts district, Gambia is the only country in the sub-region that does not have a vibrant art scene. Why? We've been marginalized. We don't have an art center. So having an artist village whereby all these sectors, agriculture related, we're talking about, integrating the youths into farming, but there is a correlation. We need arts to integrate the youth. Not just through the farming programs that we are having in here, but also if we take artists in set, you need to feed them. You need the farmers to produce the products. You need the cooks. So basically, the corollary benefits are high. You can create a lot of jobs. So if we are able to pull off this project on the ground, I can swear that we can give jobs to at least 5,000 youths as part of this national development plan. Because we started from zero. Last year we made 5 films individually, and we've integrated at least 200 youths into the film industry through our own resources. Imagine if the states and all these sectors come on board as a team. Definitely we can make Gambia proud. That's all we have, repackaging our culture for global consumption. That's what we are doing, and that's what we need. What makes us Gambia stand out? You watch Hollywood, United States, they owe their greatness to what Hollywood sells. We've been bombarded to Bollywood for years. Now the telenovelas are coming from South America. Now the government is liberalizing the television market. What are we going to do if we don't have our culture that we can supply the TV stations? Our youths will be exposed to various cultures, various tradition. So therefore, culture is as important. And it's an honor that it's part of the tourism industry. Now that, unfortunately, in the National Development Plan, we look at it, we don't see it there. It is tied to culture-oriented tourism. So I'm appealing to the Honorable Minister during your meeting with the committee to make a special mention to culture, especially the creative economy. That will help. We don't need much. We just need some basics in place, and we will do the rest. We don't want to be pampered, but we want to be given the basics. It hurts that, the Youth Empowerment Program has cancelled its entertainment component due to lack of capacity and lack of funds, which means that we are on. So which means that the Youth Empowerment Program will be gone without youths in the creative sector. And this is an issue that we need to look into. We are here, we are partners, our door are open, and then let me not take too much talking. I'm more into action than talking. Thank you very much.
Without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you our keynote speaker for today, Mr. Bernie Fowler Jr. All the way from the United States in Southern Maryland, he comes to you as a humble farmer, social activist, CEO, and Executive Director of Farming for Hunger.
Well, it's an honor to be here in the Gambia and meeting everyone. I will just take a second and go back in history. My background is in real estate, land development, custom home building. And in the United States in 2008, the economy went awry, and I found myself in a place that I was no longer in control and could not see any way out. I was so down and depressed, I got to the point where I had contemplated taking my life. Now, I come from a good family. My father was a state senator, into politics, had a great upbringing, and I was totally out of control. One day I just was looking out the window and really just started talking to God that I did not want to take my life. And I was led to a farm where we started growing food, helping others in need, because all the people that worked on our houses, all the people that helped develop the lands were all out of work too. And it was a place where I was no longer in control. So I wanted to give hope and help to others that were struggling the same way that I was struggling. So I went to a farm and we started raising food for the hunger. And over a period of time, things started changing. We realized that hunger comes in a lot of different ways. And it's not just always physically that you're hungry, but it's emotionally, it's a lot of different things that affect us. And so the farm turned into a platform, a place for the community to come out and work together. So to date, since starting the nonprofit, we have raised 10 million pounds of food and distributed out to the hungry community just in the southern state of where I live, just below Washington, D.C. And we've also been able to bring out, because we need help, it's really turned into a model of hope for others and transformation. We utilize prisoners from the state prison system that help come out and harvest the food with us. But the prisoners give back, and they talk and work with the students, the school children that come out as well. So everything that happens at the farm is really about community building. You can go to, when you come to the farm, your life can change. So the food is the vessel. The food is the vessel that brings everyone together. Good, bad, and indifferent. Just like here where you live in the Gambia, there's folks that are struggling. There's folks in power. There's all types, but you can come together as one and work together as one. And that's what we've been able to demonstrate. It's allowed people to turn their life around. It's allowed people to do things for others. I saw a film years ago when I was going through my struggle, and it was called Faith Like Potatoes. And it took place right here in Africa. And it was about a young farmer who grew potatoes, and it was a drought. And everybody made fun of him that he was not going to have any potatoes. And at the end of the season, he continued to have faith, and he believed that he would have a good crop. And he had an abundant crop. The day that I watched that film, something in my life changed. That's the importance of the arts and culture. Something like watching a movie that was for entertainment resonated in my heart. It changed my life. And I knew that someday I would be in Africa. Now that was only 7 years ago. The nonprofit is only 6 years old. So there's power in the arts. There's the ability to touch lives and send you in a direction that you would never imagine. I'm standing here 2 days ago in the United States, and now I'm standing in Gambia, and already met many new friends, farmers, and ones that I'll be talking with later today, to share the model of how we can spread our model. It's starting to spread across the United States, and it's no doubt about it. I'm here because the model will start spreading in Africa. It's too much to stand up here and explain today, but it is a place where we all can come together as one. We all can be community. We can all serve someone else that we're responsible to help other people and serve them, and we'll make it a better world. We'll make it a better place. Rachel, did you pass out the seeds? So I gave everybody, did the guests at the table get a seed?
No.
Okay, so make sure that everyone gets a seed. So what I wanted to do, I have a video, but because of time's sake, I don't think we have time to play that now. I don't want to hold up everybody. I'll show that in the breakout session this afternoon. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to give everybody a seed. Now this seed represents lives that have been lost back where I live because of all the drug overdoses. And children raised these seeds and families planted these seeds. They're sunflowers. Is everybody familiar with sunflowers? Have you heard of sunflowers before? Okay. So they're a sunflower that comes out. So it's a symbol. It's a symbol that when you hold that seed in your hand, do you know if that seed is alive or dead? Do you know if it's alive or dead in your hand? No. What do you have to do with that seed to know? Plant it. You must plant that seed. Just like everyone in this room, we have an obligation to plant a seed. If we make excuses, we're too busy, we're too tied up, we can't help one another, we're not taking an opportunity to plant a seed. And if you don't plant a seed, something that is good inside of you will not have the ability to grow. Today, I give you a seed from where I come from, to plant a seed of hope, awareness, how we all can come together and work together to make this a better place. And whether you physically plant it on the ground or you just hold on to it, that seed represents loss of a life back at home. But families know now that their loved ones will never truly die because the seed represents new growth and new life. So today I bring new growth and new life to the Gambia. And I'm very excited to work with the local farmers and to tell them more about our model and how we can help build the community and help one another out. So thank you very much.
All right. Clap one more time for our keynote speaker, guys. We've come a long way to tell you to plant these seeds inside of yourself. Hopefully you'll save your seeds and take Bernie's advice. We can tell that in the U.S. he's doing so much good work feeding the hungry and everyone in Southern Maryland. And so I think that if you're interested in agriculture, you should definitely participate in his Brain Trust session later this afternoon. At this time, I would like to bring our minister to the panel, to the podium. He's going to bring an address from the government of Gambia. This conference will launch our 5-year master plan in art for social transformation. We're not coming here today to take good pictures. We're not coming here today to get good video footage. We're coming here today looking for partners in sustainable development, specifically artists that over the next 5 years want to work with us to work in the Gambia and in many regions around the world. If you're interested in using art culture as a tool for sustainable development, then this is the conversation for you. We're letting you know that the minister is here because we have the ear and the support of your government. You're here because we appreciate the grassroots community. We understand that that is where real development takes place. So consider yourself invited to the table to make a decision today. Without further ado, I'd like to invite our honorable minister. Make them feel loved, y'all. This is your minister now.
Thank you. Good morning, Madam Foley. Am I right, Foley or Foshi?
No, it's Kim Paul.
Kim Paul, Madam Kim Paul, and of course, Mr. Bonnie just narrated a very interesting story to us, and we've all learned something from it. And of course, our friend, dedicated friend, Mr. Babukar, and of course, all of you present, and indeed with the media, because the media is a very strong tool in fostering whatever or doing whatever you want to do in the field of arts and culture. So we welcome the GRTS. And of course, on behalf of the President of the Republic, I am happy and proud to be here to discuss with you and of course to give you an insight of what the Gambia government since 2017 January is doing and intend to do in the next 5 years. Because it's important that one of the weaknesses that we have registered and realized as a government is, and I have to be honest with this, is not telling you all that we are doing. Not because we don't want to tell you, but because I think the system needed some adjustment. And so for now, we believe that we should be doing more of informing you of what is happening so that we can always clear some of the doubts. First of all, let me say this is a very important conference. I was on my way to my village yesterday. I had crossed, I've gone too far when the president called to say that he could not make it. He's got some unforeseen circumstances that are making it impossible for him to come and attend, and that I should come and represent him. I didn't want to delegate something that was delegated to me. I decided to come back. I crossed around midnight yesterday. And one thing I just felt that Gambians need to adjust themselves to, and I've experienced this not only in this conference. When you tell us 9:30, be there at 9:30. I am here 9:30. That's what I believe today. And I think we need to address this culture. If we want to move from poverty to riches, underdevelopment to development, and of course transform society, there are certain attitudinal practices we must do away with them. You cannot have a program that says 9:30 and start coming to that program at 10 o'clock, 10:30. And I've said this everywhere. I mean, where I am responsible, if I arrived, I address and I move. Whether I have 2 people or 3 people, I'm gone. That's what I do. And I think people who know Adam, President Barrow, also know that he is never late for any program. He is at his office sharp 8 o'clock. Never late for any program. So I think we need to really look at what we do. It's important. This is just a point that I'm concerned. I've been waiting for 1 hour plus for you to be here. So let's again rethink. When we say 9, be there 9. When we say 10, be there 10. It's important. Now let's go back to the topic. You see, using culture as a tool for sustainable development, you couldn't have got a better team than this one. When I took over the Ministry of Culture, what I've realized was it was the least funded ministry in the entire government of the Gambia. They were receiving virtually nothing. And I also found a country without a national troop that would represent national character of the entire nation. And again, there was no national troop disbanded. I inherited a ministry that did not have a national theater center, that did not have a school of arts, that did not have school of music, no facility for film producers, absolute nothing. So it was just a ministry by name. I had a discussion with the president. He supported our action and stood by us. We increased the budget over 300%. It's the only department, that ministry, that got over 300% increase in this budget. And when I looked at this plan that they have, that was lying there almost 15 years for a cultural theater national center, it could only accommodate 150 people. And I felt that was a joke. Developing, moving Gambia needs something different. We have changed that. We've redesigned that. It can now accommodate 1,300 people. And we also have in it the School of Music, School of Art, and other facilities for film producers and music producers and all sort of it. So that you have a center that will do what you need to create the jobs. And you must realize that the amount of revenue we can generate from the art and culture industry can be more than the tourism industry or any other industry in this country. The United States government gets more money in that field than even it is with oil and arms. So I see no reason why young Gambia would not exploit that to develop and to move our country. There is a lot of resources in it, And not only about the resource aspect, but we need an identity as a nation, as people. Our identity is what matters, and that's what we can show and tell who we are and what we are in the world. And you can only do that if you really make sure that your cultural values, your traditional practice, that yourself, your earth, is right there and can be associated with yourself. And we need to develop strategies together with all of you. You see, government is the people. It's not only those officials who are sitting there. No, you are part of the process. And that's why I made sure that we opened up. I found the copyright regulation were lying there for years. I signed them 2 months ago. And the institution, the money was provided for this. And I have no doubt that the committee that have already been set up will work on that. Because we realized that some of our musicians became destitute because there was no instrument to protect their products. And they've been used so much, you see them in the street begging for fares to go back. People who have made you to feel so good, who have portrayed this country's image many years ago. Most of these Senegalese artists learned from the Gambia before they went back to Senegal. The Sundurs, all of them were in Banjul. But today they are all over the world. Those who taught them have disappeared, fade into insignificance, not notice any part of the world anymore. And that because we do not have the state institutions, state apparatus that would help develop, protect their works. And that's why, as a government, we felt those institutions must be put in place so that we can all benefit at the end of the day. Because everything about the world and about life is about earth. It's about culture. Even if you go to our construction industry, the houses in Mali are different from our houses because they have a culture of building houses in that manner. The dress that we dress also vary, our identity, what we wear. When you travel somewhere, you wear a mbubu, they say, are you from West Africa, Gambia, Nigeria, Senegal? Because it is your dress, your national dress, that's part of your culture. That shows who you are and it identifies you immediately. So it is important that our culture is preserved and then we become proud of it. Not only being proud of it, but also to have the state apparatus. The state must come in to support it. Nigeria, a couple of years ago, about 5 years ago, they invested over $300 million into the film industry because it was growing and they felt that they need to, government put in $300 million to support it. And that developed Nigeria with telecoms to become the biggest economy in Africa. They were not the biggest economy in Africa. What we want to do as a government under Adama Barrow is to see that we support you. We partner with you. We help you create institutions that would develop this industry, that would move us from where we are to another level. And that would help educate us, understand issues, even to learn about the evil, the ills of society. It's only through art and culture that you can do it and succeed. And that's why, if you look at Europe today, France became one of the most successful countries because they maintain a very strong culture and art policy. If you have, some of you have traveled to France, you will see the difference. You go to France, and of course UK is different from when you go to other countries. And we cannot afford to be left behind. And some of our behavioral attitudes related to inferiority in terms of class as a result of culture need to be eradicated. I'll give you one example. I was on a visit 2 weeks ago to visit some ongoing projects in the tourism industry. I went to a particular hotel. There were 14 contractors working almost 24/7. The least paid per day is $200. Some are earning up to $500 a day. And I asked the proprietor, how many people are working here? He said, must be over 500-600 people working here. How many Gambians are working here? It was sad to tell you. What I found there, Sierra Leoneans, Nigerians, Guineans, Senegalese, Ghanaians, everybody was working. And next was our own Gambian brother sitting by the beach under a tent. Young people. That's a culture of inferiority in the minds of people. You don't want to be a laborer to learn how to become a missioner. From $200 you move to $500 a day. Because there is this culture of inferiority in you. And you are asking us to create jobs for you. We create the jobs, you give it to others to take it. And I think this is where we need to partner with you so that we can have a cultural reorientation of our people. Then they will be able to think that really, if I have to be a laborer for 1 year, I'll be a missioner in the next year and I'll be earning double what I am earning. And I'll be able to build a better family, do something else. And I think we need to work on that. And I am very impressed, particularly when I look at the young lady, very young people around, female aspect of it. They all have a desire to do something. They want to do something. And it moves me when I see them. You know, some of them want to be one of the best in the world. But are the facilities there? The answer is no. But be rest assured that the government's Adama Barrow is willing to get that done. We know the thousands of jobs that we can create in this industry. We will not let it go. We'll exploit it. We'll work on it. And I can assure you that we will partner with you. But it's difficult for us to reach out to you, but you can reach out to us. Because you must also understand we inherited a broken system. This is not under Jammeh alone. I think from independence, really, the Department of Culture and Arts and Culture has not been given its rightful position in this country. And we need to really work 20 times if you want to catch up with some of the other countries in the neighboring. And I am very pleased that Mr. Boni narrated a very interesting story. You see what culture can do. You see how you can be transformed and be affected positively to make a change. I'll give you an example what happened to me about 3 weeks ago. I visited a friend and there was a cultural night organized for me. And this music, the people were playing, I sat there, listened to this music, and then became so excited. I saw a change in my life immediately as I sat there. I started seeing relief coming in myself. And then when the dinner ended, I felt that there is a need to take a break in my life to listen to some of these cultural and art practices so that it can transform and upgrade me to another level. And I confess that it is important that sometime to reflect when you watch these programs, you see yourself and evaluate yourself and see where you are and then how do you move forward. And that's why I was so impressed with that culture. I cannot remember where I stood up anywhere to dance until I think 3rd of January 1997. But that evening I was moved to another level. And at the end of the program, I felt that I should be taking a break. We should be engaging more of this and do more of it and invest more into it. It is important. You educate, you help, you create, you make a difference. And everybody at the highest level. When the president was on leave, he also got a cultural, a musician to come, traditional one. And he told me that night was one of his best nights since he became president. That's how you can, influence the mindset of leaders or decision makers. You have the power. And I think this is where we really need to do more to help and move forward. But be rest assured that we need to make changes, fundamental changes in our system. As Babukar have said, the NDP process was too short. We had a very limited time to create it, to produce a national development program. But you will realize for the first time in the history of the Gambia, culture is a priority program for the government of the Gambia. It has never been. Arts and culture is now a priority for the government of the Republic of the Gambia. It has never been. And that, I insisted that it has to be, and the president was easily convinced, and the entire cabinet, to put it there, because we need to show who we are, and what we can do. And we have the talents, we have the knowledge. On this note, I wish to thank you so much and wish you a very successful deliberation. Thank you very much.
Clap one more time for your minister. This is your minister. Gambia, your government believes in you. If you are below the age of 35 and you're in the room right now, raise your hand. Wow, clap for yourselves. Did you know that in the year 2020, 87% of the people in West and Eastern Africa will be below the age of 37. 87%. I'm going to say it one more time so that you understand that you are in the majority, that it is now your time as a demographic to take your rightful place in social transformation, not just as artists, but as young people working in social transformation. I'm 32, so I'm a little older than a lot of you here. Having that been said, I started this process over 10 years ago. I was very young when I booked my first flight, and I decided that I wanted to connect deeper with the continent of Africa. And it was art that told me more about my African identity, even though I was raised in Baltimore City, a city right outside of the capital, Washington, D.C., for the United States. Hip-hop culture is very influential. We understand that hip-hop artists, they have the attention of all young people. Whether you like hip-hop or not, you know the latest hip-hop artists in your area. This is an influence that we need to talk about. We're going to talk about it in our breakout session today. I just wanted to give a brief introduction from Ms. Lydia Curtis. She's going to let you know a little about each of our breakout sessions, and then we're going to break for lunch. When we come back from lunch, we're going to break out in this room, and we're going to break out in the Mansley Hall. You guys, based on her descriptions, are going to choose which issue you're most passionate about, which team of social transformers you want to join, and then you're going to work with us, hopefully, for the next 5 years to bring these discussions, to bring these action plans that we come up with over the next 2 days, to bring them to fruition. Without further ado, please, Miss Lydia Curtis.
So my name is Lydia Curtis, and I'm here from Washington, D.C. with Siddiqui Educational Safaris. And I just want to give you a brief overview about what to expect this afternoon. So we're going to have the agriculture breakout session with Mr. Fowler, and you know what that's going to be about. He described it very well, coming up with strategies for how to reconnect with the land, how to motivate young people, and then we're going to have the Sheroes, and that will be with Miss Kim. Talking about beauty, health, and self-esteem, how to feel good about yourself in your natural states. And then there'll be my breakout session, which will be in this room, talking about hip-hop and youth culture and how we can use aspects of hip-hop not only to motivate young people or not so young people, but also to create your messaging, okay, to overcome some of the barriers that His Excellency talked about, the inferiority thinking, and the other kinds of social challenges. There might be, we're going to discuss issues I'm going to have a leader discussion about what the local issues are. And then we'll come up with a strategy using art, using music, using graffiti on how to address those concerns. And we're also going to have, had the honor of meeting with a local rapper, Usman Impala, yesterday. We sat and talked for a couple of hours. And he told me that he would be back today. So he will be joining us in the afternoon. He will, not only will he perform, but he will help the group create their own media, create their own message. And so I'm very excited and looking forward to that. So all that will happen after lunch. And so Ms. Kim will give us our further instructions. Again, thank you. I'm very honored to be here.
Okay, so for those of you that like the gastronomy of Gambia, gastronomy is the culture of food. We're going to explore that in the restaurant. To our immediate left, chicken benachin and chicken yassa is on the menu. So please help yourself. Please don't order anything outside of that. We're on a very strict budget here. We're still working on that $300,000 increase that the minister spoke about earlier. And so hopefully our plans will be sustainable and we'll be able to give you a menu that's a little more diverse. But chicken yassa and chicken benachin is on the menu. It's very important that in every element of our conference, we include and celebrate the culture of Gambia. So no pizza, no fries, no chicken fingers. Let's go ahead and enjoy some of our local staples. Thank you so much. See you soon.